As two of the world's major powers, China and Russia maintain very close relations, yet they are not allies. What lies behind this deliberate non-alignment? And how can the two countries sustain stability and cooperation without a formal alliance? China's adherence to a non-alignment policy stems from historical experience and its deep respect for national sovereignty. In the 1950s, newly founded China pursued a one-sided foreign policy, forming a close military alliance with the Soviet Union and cooperating extensively in military and economic fields. However, the so-called honeymoon period lasted less than a decade before tensions emerged. Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev proposed stationing Soviet troops in cities like Dalian and Lushuan, allowing Soviet submarines to dock and long-wave radio stations to be built to monitor Western activity. Chairman Mao could not tolerate such infringements on China's sovereignty. From that point on, Sino-Soviet relations began to deteriorate. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union interfered in China's internal affairs under the banner of the socialist camp, attempting to turn the alliance into a tool for its own dominance. Mao denounced this, saying that the so-called Fraternal Party was merely a fig leaf for hegemony. By 1969, the former allies clashed militarily at Zhenbao Island, and war seemed imminent. Soviet Marshal Grechko even advocated for a limited nuclear strike to eliminate China's growing threat. In response, China launched the massive Third Line construction project and built civil defense infrastructure nationwide, sacrificing economic development in the process. This transformation from allies to near enemies taught China a painful lesson: alliances can cost a country its strategic autonomy and may lead to subordination. Since then, non-alignment has become the cornerstone of China's foreign policy, reflecting its emphasis on sovereignty and confidence in independent development. However, China's non-alignment does not equate to isolation. It embodies flexible and pragmatic diplomacy. The establishment of diplomatic relations with the United States in 1972 exemplifies this approach. During the Cold War, China neither fully aligned with the US nor with the Soviet Union. Instead, it improved ties with the US to balance power and create a favorable environment for its own development. In the 1980s, China emphasized non-alignment while refraining from interfering in other countries' affairs. It also cultivated friendly relations with developing nations in the global south. This approach underscored China's pursuit of independent diplomacy, free from attachment to any superpower and immune to external constraints. This principle later laid the foundation for Sino-Russian relations after the Cold War. From a broader perspective, non-alignment also grants China rare flexibility on the world stage. Since its reform and opening up in 1978, China has integrated into the global economy through openness and win-win cooperation, without joining any military alliances. A hypothetical China-Russia alliance would limit this flexibility. Consider the current North Korea-Russia relationship. If bound by an alliance, North Korea might be compelled to send troops to assist Russia in conflicts like the one in Ukraine, conflicts unrelated to its own interests. Such obligations run counter to China's pragmatic diplomacy. Another reason for avoiding a formal alliance lies in the complex geography and history between China and Russia. The two countries share a 4,300-kilometer land border, a natural channel for cooperation but also a potential flashpoint for conflict. Since the 17th century, China's Qing dynasty and Tsarist Russia fought over territory in the northeast. In the 19th century, Tsarist Russia exploited China's weakness through unequal treaties, seizing over 1.5 million square kilometers of Chinese land. These historical grievances remind both nations to remain cautious and maintain some distance in their relations. Geopolitically, Russia is vast and resource-rich, but its Far East is sparsely populated and economically underdeveloped. China, by contrast, has a large population, strong economic momentum, and high energy demand. While their economies complement each other well, mutual suspicions remain. Russia worries that economic over-reliance on China could undermine its control of the Far East. Meanwhile, China is wary of Russian military strength along its northern border and the risks of becoming overly dependent in an alliance. This uncertainty drives both sides to prioritize strategic independence over alliance obligations. History confirms this trend. After the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, China and Russia launched a new phase in their relationship. In 1996, they established a strategic partnership, deliberately avoiding the sensitive term alliance, a sign of mutual caution. In 2001, the Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation set the political tone for peaceful coexistence. During the 2014 Ukraine crisis, when the West imposed harsh sanctions on Russia, China did not join in but instead acted independently based on its own interests. This stable but non-aligned partnership between China and Russia often frustrates Western observers, who wonder how the two managed to sustain their relationship. The answer lies in pragmatic cooperation and strategic mutual understanding. Through multilateral platforms, economic ties, and financial innovation, China and Russia have built a solid framework that maximizes benefits while avoiding alliance constraints. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, exemplifies this model. Founded in 2001 with an initial focus on counterterrorism and border security, it has since expanded to cover economic and cultural cooperation. For instance, when tensions rose on the Tajik border in 2021, China and Russia conducted joint military exercises under the SCO framework to deter hostile elements. Unlike traditional alliances aimed at military confrontation, the SCO serves as a bridge, connecting China and Russia while respecting their independence. There's a saying about human relationships: true ironclad friendships aren't just about closeness, they're about shared interests. This perfectly describes the China-Russia relationship. Their most significant shared interest is energy cooperation. In 2014, they signed the $400 billion Power of Siberia natural gas pipeline agreement. By 2023, bilateral energy trade surpassed $200 billion, accounting for more than half of Russia's exports to China. This pipeline meets China's clean energy needs while providing Russia with a reliable revenue stream, especially under Western sanctions. Beyond energy, the two countries display strong strategic alignment in international affairs. At the UN Security Council, they have jointly vetoed numerous Western-backed proposals to protect their core interests. Yet, they do not see themselves as allies but as independent powers coordinating on global issues. This cooperation is like two hands striking together, applying pressure at critical moments while maintaining individual autonomy. In conclusion, although China and Russia are not allies, they have transformed potential tensions into momentum for cooperation. Their relationship is built on historical wisdom, geopolitical balance, and effective cooperation mechanisms. This unique model ensures long-term stability and injects a measure of predictability into an increasingly turbulent world order.